main objective of the project is to increase baseline ecological knowledge on the distribution, biodiversity and ecosystem services on Rhodolith seabeds, as well as the vulnerability to anthropogenic stressors across the Macaronesia.
Rhodolith, which are also known as mire, are these rock-like appearance calcareous red algae that live freely on the sea bottom, and their depth ranges can go from 10 meters to up to 100 meters, and they also cover really vast extensions of the seafloor. The importance of this marine habitat lies in its capacity to act as an ecosystem engineer. So basically they can provide habitat to marine flora and fauna that live associated to these rocks, and also because their skeleton is formed of carbonate calcium, as we can see here, they have the capacity to store large amount of carbon in their skeleton that can contribute to mitigate the effects of climate change. This is what we call blue carbon. For these reasons, mires or Rhodolith are considered special areas for conservation under the European Habitat Directive, but we still have very little knowledge on their ecology and distribution. So MAC-RODO aims to bridge this knowledge gap to help decision makers in management and conservation by focusing on three main issues. The first one is quantifying this capacity that Rhodolith have on storing carbon, the blue carbon capacity. The second one is to assess their vulnerability to both localized like nutrient pollution and global stressors such as increased sea surface temperature from global warming. And the third one is to disseminate to the general public and stakeholders their ecological relevance.
For the methodology, basically we use acoustic techniques such as the side scan sonar to develop or perform maps of these habitats, combined with in situ measurements to see the capacity of this organism to store carbon. Then we also develop ex situ experiments in mesocosm to measure the capacity or the vulnerability of rhodoliths in front of global or local stressors such as temperature and nutrients. And finally, regarding outreach activities, we do different actions such as the website, in which covering or try to record all activities of the project, but also the fact sheet, in where we try to explain the basic biology of this organism, combined with also pressure and potential threats that affect them, and also different conference addressed to the general public.
Rhodolith can cover really vast extension of the seabed. Actually, in the local areas that we survey, both in the area of Gran Canaria and Madeira, within the Macaronesia, we found that they actually can cover almost 50% of the seabed that we sampled. Also, the in situ physiological experiments that we conducted demonstrated the high capacity that Rhodolith have to store carbonate in their skeleton through the balance of the process of photosynthesis and calcification. Because of these really large extensions of Rhodolith beds, their capacity to store carbon and their function as biodiversity hotspots, they really warrant a special conservation attention when developing marine spatial planning to promote sustainable growth of coastal economies.
MAC-RODO will integrate rhodoliths, these ecosystems, in archipelago conservation policies, fostering the valorization of these ecosystems and their services, potentially also helping to develop strategies for their conservation. We'll raise awareness about the role as an instrument of social cohesion involving all sectors of Canarian society.
MAC-RODO has opened a window of opportunities. The method that we use can be expanded to other European regions, where these habitats also cover vast extension of the seabed, to quantify that capacity to store carbon, the blue carbon capacity, which is a research priority under the European agenda.